Welcome to Face Forward, the podcast, the series that takes you behind the scenes of the riveting world of clinical trial management. I am your host, Valerie Coveney, and I am thrilled to be your guide on this journey through the nuances of planning, executing, and navigating the clinical research landscape. Our guest is a regulatory affairs manager with more than 8 years' experience in the industry. She is recognized for her deep understanding of the regulatory landscape. She combines an analytical, scientific approach with strong organizational skills, making her an exceptional team leader. Today, she will be sharing insights from the recent RAPS Convergence 2024 in Long Beach, which took place last September. Let's extend our warmest welcome to Innovaderm's Regulatory Affairs Manager, Despina Vasiliou.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. It's my first ever podcast, so I'm super excited.
Amazing. We're so happy to have you with us. So you recently attended RAPS Convergence in Long Beach just a few weeks ago. How was it?
Oh my God, it was so packed with so much very informative sessions. I met so many people. To be honest, in 3 days, it's not enough time. I feel like it should be an entire week.
Yeah.
I would say the most popular topics, the big topic that everybody's talking about is artificial intelligence. AI is a very big topic right now. Everybody's right now just trying to see where AI fits into their everyday. But to be honest, after you come out of the information sessions, you talk to people one-on-one, and there is a little bit of a fear surrounding it. I feel that people say, will I be replaced? If there's AI, what will I do at the end of the day? And to be quite honest, sometimes I ask those questions myself. AI is a very scary topic, but after coming out of RAPS Convergence, AI is not here to replace us. It really is here to help us. So when I was there, I had the opportunity to see many different types of systems and programs. But in regulatory, one of the main things we do is document creation and submissions. So a lot of the AI systems were there that were shown were there to support those two items. I've never used AI before in creating a document or even doing a submission myself. So for me, it was a very big learning curve.
Yeah.
But from what I understood, AI has come a long way. In the beginning, I learned that the systems would only be able to support a limited amount of documents. But now AI, you're able to put a larger amount of documents, and now the documents can be more complex. So that means the documents now contain graphs, images, where before it would only be text. So the system would read the text and now also take the tables, the graphs, the images, and create a document, which to be honest is kind of cool. I didn't think that was something that was possible.
Yeah.
But being in regulatory, the big question is quality.
Yeah.
Well, what quality does this document have? So when talking to people, the document output would have errors. One of the big errors that they did mention is sometimes the output, their sourcing errors. The document has text where we're not able to go back and see where that text is coming from. But through the years, from what I understand, AI has grown. So those errors are no longer there. And they were saying that, this is, I guess, the human aspect of AI. How do we ensure that there's no errors? A QC step really needs to be implemented. From my understanding, I don't think that QC step is ever going to be removed. I feel that no matter how much AI is involved, we'll always need a human opening up that document, looking at it, reading it, and picking out those errors. That's the cross-check us in regulatory we need to do to make sure that document has a high level of quality. So overall, from what I gathered, my big takeaway is that AI is still growing. It does have a lot of potential, But depending on what you do and where you work, you really need to find a program or a system that really fits your needs.
Yeah.
Um, and once you have an AI system in place, that leaves regulatory professionals more time for planning and decision making, which essentially this gives us more time to do stuff that really matters rather than just filling out an application form.
Definitely.
Another big topic which I found was very new to me, which I didn't know that there was such a need in uh, in the industry, was that there's unmet medical needs. They were talking about the communication between drug developers and directly to the patients. They feel that there's a lack of communication between the two. Pharmaceutical companies have a very different view on how they feel that drug would be successful compared to their patients and ultimately the caregivers of those patients. So obviously, a drug developer is not sitting at the table, developing their drug, and they're
Hmm.
calling in patients and asking them, what do you think on this part, or do you think that this should be like this? So there was suggestions to increase communication through patient advocacy conferences, or even simply meeting them face to face and having direct contact with them. Or, which I found was interesting, go through their doctors and researchers. Contact their doctor and see what are their patients mostly complaining about. What is the need in whatever indication that company is researching? So communication is a very, very big thing. On the opposite spectrum, which I found was a little amusing, patients find that regulatory authorities are playing a part in blocking their access to drugs. They feel that they're a little bit too restrictive. I attended one session where now they're discussing on including women of childbearing potential or breastfeeding into clinical trials. So when I first heard that, first of all, I've never heard of a clinical trial where they included that. So that was news to me.
Hmm.
All these like little red flags went off in my head. But through listening to the information session, apparently there's a big interest in women of childbearing potential to be included in those trials. And that information session was given by someone from a regulatory authority.
Oh,
So
really?
they had done the background work. The audience was a little skeptical, to be honest, so there was lots of questions. One of the questions that was asked, how is there a strong interest? They feel that, a woman of childbearing potential wouldn't want to be part of the trial. Even if someone is pregnant, they wouldn't want to be part of it. Apparently, information sessions and surveys were held where it's women who have rare diseases that are interested in participating in the trials.
Okay.
But again, communication is key. So
Hmm.
everybody has to sit down, come to the table, and talk about, what is really needed in the industry. And as per usual, one of the ones that they always have is regulatory authority conversations. So there's always sessions where regulatory authorities come. They give us updates on what's coming in the year. They give us a recap of last year. They talk about trends that they've noticed. They usually talk about new guidances or big changes that are going to come in the industry. This year, I noticed there was a lot of talks on medical devices. The FDA released a new guidance on the eStar platform. So it gave people the place to, ask them questions. I particularly like those information sessions because you're in front of the regulatory authority. It gives them, the chance to kind of like corner them and ask them the
Hmm.
questions. Usually you're sending them an email to a general inbox and who knows how long they'll take to answer. Whereas here for once, you're putting them in the hot seat, I like to
Yeah.
say.
So, aside from all these information sessions, what were your favorite highlights from the conference?
Oof, that's a good question. Okay, my personal favorite, honestly, has to be the solution circles. For these, you actually have to get in a lineup to be included in those. There's only max 30 people allowed, and the lineups, oh, they're long. So I was lucky enough to get in line and be included in two.
Okay.
The reason why I like solution circles so much, it's because it gives you a space not just to sit and listen to people talk, like in the information sessions. You actually get to listen to other people and share your opinions. So typically you get one topic and then they pitch it to the group. And you get to hear people from different backgrounds, which for me is interesting. I was in one group where I was the only person from a CRO and I was surrounded by sponsors.
Oh.
And the question was geared towards problems that sponsors have with their CROs. So
Oh.
I did not broadcast that I was from a CRO. I stayed very well hidden in a corner, but I took many notes, let's just say. And I got to hear points from different types of sponsors, large sponsors, small sponsors, sponsors located in the US and Europe. So I got to hear their feedback. Another solution circle I was involved in, it was with small clinics. And the question was issues that they have during their inspections. And again, I did not broadcast I was from a CRO. I stayed in my corner, but again, took many notes. And a lot of the comments that they came back with was, again, communication is key, lack of communication with the CRO. So for me, this is a learning session where I get to hear it from their perspective and really be in their shoes and understand what they're living day to day. Because working, and this goes for anybody, working where you are, you get to see how, the problem is from your point of view, and you don't necessarily understand where somebody's coming from. When working at a clinic, as a CRO, you're sending emails to the site and you're just telling them to go in and print. But some of these clinics I was hearing don't even have a printer. Something as simple as asking them to print coming from a big CRO, you hear that, what do you mean they don't have a printer? But, you have to understand their reality so that you're able
Yeah.
to help them in their time of need. So that I would have to say Solution Circles is my all-time favorite. Every time I go to this conference, I always make sure to get in line. And overall, I mean, this conference is just great for networking opportunities. Anybody who you meet in the hallway, anybody who you meet at an information session, if anybody does take the opportunity to go, turn around and just talk to the person beside you. Everybody will talk to you. I remember
Mhm.
my first conference, I was very shy. I was unsure if anybody would talk to me. Everybody sat down, everybody introduces themselves, everybody comes from different backgrounds. So you don't feel that you don't have enough knowledge, or you don't feel maybe you're overwhelmed or underwhelmed. You all come from different backgrounds, so you really don't feel out of place. They do have a chapter meet and greet. So what this is depending on the area you're in, they do have a group of people in Quebec. They do have one, a chapter. It's not made up with a lot of people, but it's still nice that they were there. So I was able to meet people in my area and talk to them about issues that are happening right here locally, and also, discuss being part of their meetings that they have and networking opportunities so I can hear, learn new things, and, just also expand my network. Another thing that I noticed that they have, and they do well, is they have something called dine rounds. And what it is at the end of every day, they have a board posted on the main floor, and there's papers that you can sign yourself up, and it's for you to go have dinner with people. And at the end of the conference, about maybe, I think, an hour after it ends, you meet back at the same spot. And depending on which paper you signed up on, you meet with that group and then you pick a restaurant in the area And I got to meet some nice people along. So I would have to say that ultimately, those are my favorites.
Amazing. So this concludes our episode today. Thank you so much, Despina, for being part of this project. It was a pleasure having you.
The pleasure's all mine.
As we conclude another illuminating episode of Face Forward, we find ourselves at the crossroads of science and progress. Remember that behind the jargon and statistics lie stories of unwavering commitment, meticulous observation, and the pursuit of evidence that shapes our understanding of health and disease. Stay at the forefront of knowledge and innovation and follow Face Forward on your preferred platform. My name is Valerie Kovney. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.